For 2 years, the estate update seemed routine until a single mismatched date in a bank record opened a door we couldn't close. My name is Elena M., and this is the story of how a family friend, a man we called Uncle Felix since childhood, vanished with our parents' legacy. Not in some dramatic midnight escape with suitcases of cash, but slowly, quietly, over monthly statements and polite emails, until there was almost nothing left. Our parents died within 6 weeks of each other in early 2021. Car accident on I-80 near Reno, icy roads, black ice, they said. One moment they were driving back from visiting my brother Mateo in Sacramento, the next, gone. Just like that. No will-reading drama, no courtroom battles. They'd planned everything. Or so we thought. Felix Arroyo had been their accountant for nearly 30 years. He'd helped them buy their first home in Modesto, set up college funds for us kids, even advised on my dad's small HVAC business. When the will was read by their estate attorney in March 2021, it named Felix as sole trustee of the Delgado Family Trust. The trust held everything: the house, 2 rental properties in Stockton, retirement accounts, life insurance payouts, over $1.2 million in total assets. We didn't question it. Why would we? Felix had been at every birthday, every graduation. He brought tamales to Christmas Eve. He hugged my mom like she was his sister. And legally, everything checked out. The documents were signed, notarized, witnessed. We 3 siblings, Mateo, Lucia, and me, agreed to let him manage distributions while we grieved. The first year passed in a blur of numbness. Felix sent quarterly summaries, always on time, always professional. He'd transfer $3,500 monthly to each of us for living expenses, citing trust liquidity management. He paid property taxes, handled repairs on the rentals, even hired a property manager when the Stockton tenants moved out. Everything felt stable. Controlled. Like our parents were still watching over us through him. But then came January 2023. I was reconciling my personal finances, something I do every New Year's weekend, and noticed something odd. My December 2022 distribution from the trust had cleared my bank on the 28th. But in Felix's emailed statement, dated January 3rd, it listed the transfer as occurring on January 2nd. A 4-day discrepancy. Small, sure. Probably just a typo. Except, I remembered calling him on December 27th because my car needed new brakes, and he'd said, "Don't worry, Elena, your check's already processed." So why did his official record say January 2nd? I mentioned it to Mateo during our weekly Sunday call. He shrugged. Maybe the bank held it? Holidays mess with processing. Lucia, ever the pragmatist, said, "Ask him to clarify next time." But something stuck in my throat. Like a splinter I couldn't ignore. 2 weeks later, I requested full transaction histories for all trust accounts, not just the summary. Felix emailed back within hours, "Of course, Elena. Transparency is key." Attached were PDFs labeled Delgado Trust, Full Ledger Q4 2022. That night, I sat at my kitchen table with a legal pad and a pot of cold coffee. Line by line, I compared his ledger against my bank records, Mateo's, Lucia's. And that's when I saw it, not just one mismatch, but patterns. Transfers marked as distribution that never hit our accounts. Vendor payments to companies with names like Summit Asset Solutions or Viridian Holdings, but no invoices, no contracts. And the rental income from the Stockton duplex? Down 40% from previous years, yet Felix claimed occupancy was steady. I called the property manager Felix had hired. A woman named Diane Reyes. She answered on the second ring. "Hi, Diane. This is Elena Delgado. I'm reviewing trust expenses and noticed rent collections seem low for 2022. Can you send me last year's tenant ledgers?" Silence. Then, I don't actually manage those properties anymore. Since when? Since April? Mr. Arroyo said the trust was restructuring. April. 8 months ago. And Felix never told us. My hands started shaking. I hung up and immediately pulled county property records online. Both Stockton rentals were still titled to the Delgado family trust. So who was collecting rent? I drove to Stockton the next Saturday. Knocked on both units. Tenants confirmed they'd been paying $1,800 per month cash to a man named Mr. Ruiz since May. No receipts. No lease addendum. Just cash in an envelope every first of the month. And Mr. Ruiz? His phone number matched Felix's secondary cell listed under a fake name in public directories. That night, I gathered Mateo and Lucia on a video call. Shared everything. Screenshots. Addresses. Call logs. At first, disbelief. Then anger. Then fear. He's stealing from us, Lucia whispered. Worse, Mateo said, voice tight. He's erasing us. Rewriting the trust's history. We hired a forensic accountant, Dr. Naomi Chen, recommended by our parents' old attorney. She worked quietly, under confidentiality. Within 10 days, she delivered her preliminary findings. Over 18 months, Felix had diverted approximately $387,000 from trust assets. Not in one lump sum, but through layered transactions, inflated vendor fees, fake maintenance bills, redirected rental income, even selling one of Mom's antique jewelry sets appraised at $22,000 at a private auction under a shell LLC. And the falsified records? Meticulous. He'd created digital duplicates of legitimate statements, altered dates, inserted phantom expenses. To the untrained eye, it looked seamless. We confronted him on February 14, 2023. Not dramatically. Not with lawyers present yet. Just the three of us, sitting in his modest office above a tax prep shop in downtown Modesto. Rain tapping the windows. The same office where he'd consoled us after the funeral. I laid out the evidence on his desk. Page after page. He didn't deny it. He leaned back in his leather chair, same one Dad used to sit in during tax season, and sighed. I was going to pay it back, he said. Pay it back? Mateo's voice cracked. With what? You liquidated Mom's diamond earrings, the ones from Abuela. Felix looked down. I had medical debts. My wife's cancer treatment. Insurance didn't cover half of it. I thought I could bridge the gap, just temporarily. You used our parents' trust as your personal ATM, Lucia said, quiet but sharp as glass. He nodded. Didn't cry. Didn't beg. Just resigned. I'll resign as trustee immediately, he offered. Sign everything you need. But resignation wasn't enough. The damage was done. The money was gone and funneled into offshore accounts, gambling sites, yes, gambling. We found PayPal traces to online casinos, and private loans to his son's failing restaurant in Las Vegas. We filed a civil lawsuit 2 weeks later. Petitioned the probate court to remove him as trustee and appoint a neutral successor. Served him with discovery requests. He didn't fight it. In fact, he cooperated fully, almost relieved. By May, the court appointed a corporate trustee, Northern California Fiduciary Services. They launched their own audit. Confirmed Dr. Chen's findings. Estimated total losses, $412,000, including lost investment growth. Felix agreed to a settlement. He'd return $98,000 from the sale of his own home and surrender control of all remaining trust assets. No criminal charges, our lawyer advised against it. It'll take years, cost more than you'll recover, she said. Focus on preservation, not punishment. So we did. The house in Modesto? We sold it last August. Too many memories, too much upkeep. Split the proceeds 3 ways. The Stockton Rentals? Now managed by a licensed firm with direct deposit to the trust. Monthly reports go to all three of us, no summaries, no filters. We also changed the trust structure. Added co-trusteeship, all major decisions now require 2 of 3 siblings to approve. No more lone guardians. People ask if I hate him. Felix. I don't. Not really. Hate takes energy I can't spare. What I feel is grief layered on top of grief. Grief for my parents, who trusted the wrong person. Grief for the childhood illusion that adults always act with integrity. And grief for Felix himself, a man who chose desperation over decency, and lost everything, our trust, his reputation, his peace. He sent a letter last Christmas. Short. No excuses. Just, I failed you. I'm sorry. I didn't write back. But I kept the letter. Not as a trophy. As a reminder. Because here's what I've learned, betrayal rarely announces itself with sirens. It slips in through the cracks of assumption. Through the comfort of routine. Through the belief that someone we know would never. But they do. And the only defense is vigilance, not suspicion, but attention. Ask for the full ledger. Verify the vendor. Call the property manager yourself. Don't outsource your inheritance to nostalgia. Our parents built the trust over 40 years of hard work, early mornings, late nights, skipped vacations, saved pennies. It wasn't just money. It was their love made tangible. Their hope for our futures. Felix didn't just steal assets. He tried to steal that hope. But he didn't succeed. Because we caught it. We fought back. Quietly, methodically, together. And today? The trust is healing. Smaller, yes. Scarred, absolutely. But intact. And under our watch, not someone else's. If you're managing an estate, or benefiting from one, don't wait for a mismatched date to wake you up. Request transparency early. Document everything. Assume kindness, but verify competence. Because legacies aren't just passed down. They're protected. Which red flag would you have caught first, the date discrepancy, the missing property manager, or the unexplained vendor? Comment below with 1, 2, or 3. Your answer might help someone else see what they're missing. And if this story resonated, share it with someone who's navigating inheritance or trust responsibilities. Sometimes, the quietest warnings are the ones that save everything. This has been Story Unveiled. Stay vigilant. Stay connected. And never underestimate the power of a second look.